Doggone good morning, folks. It's Richard Gen the Fishing Machine here. It's cold this morning. It's about 25 degrees. I mean, it is cold. For this part of the country, it's been cold for the last 2 weeks. We've had 2 snows, sleet, freezing rain, temperatures that's been well below normal. The water temperature's cold, colder than it normally is. When this happens in January and February, there's a technique that I use that works if I'm wanting to target bass in particular. And I'll show you what that is. Fish can be caught anytime if you'll use the right technique. There's no doubt about it. But the first thing you have to know is where the fish are, where they pack into in the winter time. These fish is laying dormant right now, but there's a lot of places up and down the Tennessee River that I know to catch fish like this. But they're so far apart. I'm just going to do one thing. I'm going to go to a good spot. I'm going to sit there and we're going to see what we can catch using this technique. And I'll show you about what I'm talking about right here. Extremely effective when fish are dormant. There it is. A night crawler. Now what I'm going to do right here, I have all kinds of squirrel tail jigs. These are light jigs, probably about 1/28 of an ounce. That one has a size 6 sickle hook in it. Now what I do, and it don't have to be a squirrel tail jig, it can be any kind of a jig head. But what I do is I hook this night crawler one time. And I'm going to explain why. Right there, just barely. Right there on the tip of that night crawler like that. Now, like I said, any jig head will work. But the reason why I'm going to use a real light jig head is because I'm not going to be fishing but about 8 to 10 feet of water. And I want that jig head to hit the bottom, and I want to stitch this bait back towards me very, very slow. Crawling it, picking it up, letting it fall, or crawling it a couple inches at a time. While I'm doing that, that night crawler is going to be moving on the bottom. He ain't moving right now, but he will be. They twist and they roll and they move a little bit, especially when the current's tumbling them a little bit, tumbling them. Now, this is a finesseful approach, to say the least, and I would recommend using old 6-pound test line on a little bitty spinning reel. But today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be using an ultralight. This is 2-pound test Vicious, high-vis Vicious, 2-pound test line. And I'm using a Daiwa Fago, a 1000 size reel. I like these Daiwas for one reason: smooth drag system. Now I set the drag on this 2-pound test line to where when I set the hook, well actually I'm just leaning into the fish more than setting the hook. I just lean into the fish. I set it light enough to where the drag will slip when I'm fishing for bass this way. But what's going to make this fun is this Shakespeare rod. It's 5.5 feet long, limber as it can be. With 2-pound test line, it makes it a challenge. You have to take your time, even with a 1-pound bass. But hopefully we'll get into some good fish. It's going to be some slow fishing. But the method is called stitching. And another thing that works real good is 4-inch finesse worms, like a Zoom meathead, on a 1/16 ounce, using a 1/16 ounce bullet weight with about a size 1 Gamakatsu hook is another one of my favorite methods. But I want to make sure I catch them when I go fishing. I think high percentage. So stay with me. Whoa! Oh my goodness. What in the world have we got right here? Well, I don't this one here is giving me a fit. It's going to take a while to see what he is. He's running back and forth, back and forth. Look here, folks. Golly. How effective is that? Now, this is a good bass right here. I'm going to take my time. I almost called it that it was a bass, but I wanted to make sure. I believe it's a spotted bass. Hit that tiny squirrel tail jig with half a night crawler on it. He's trying to get in my motor. Look here, that's a good spotted bass. On 2-pound test line, that fish give me a fit. I love light line fishing. There's a lot of different reasons why, but the main reason is I love to be, don't do it. I like to be at a disadvantage when it comes to fishing. Look at there. That is a good fish. Look at there. Little tiny bait. And that's a good fish right there. I'm going to retie my knot and stay put here a while and see what else we can catch. I feel blessed. Let's let him go. Whoa! Doggone that Clarence. He is a stinkingest old coot I've ever known. Whoa. What I've been doing is hooking, right on the, God, they're so strong, right on the tip of that night crawler like that, but I've been cutting them in half. Now, if I'm going to catch fish like that, would you or would you not just throw the whole doggone night crawler out there? I believe you would. I believe you just, but right there is where I'm catching them, right at the edge of this current seam. The current's going this way, and right here where I'm at, slack water, so I'm right on the seam. And the water depth, well, is around 8 feet deep. Now I'm going to adjust this drag just enough to punch that hook, pierce that hook in that bass's mouth or whatever hits. Just about like that. That's plenty. We have an exposed hook, so 2-pound test line, you need to adjust that drag to where to slip on the hook set. Even if you're fishing for big bluegill and shellcracker, because folks, you can pop this little, it's sewing thread. It's that simple. It's sewing thread. And that's why I love to fish this way. Now, what I'm going to do, it's on the bottom. Just move it, let it go back to the bottom. Move it, let it go back to the bottom. Just a couple inches at a time. Let it sit there. Now that I got a full night crawler on, all I'd have to do is just kind of hold my rod and move it every once in a while. That'd be fine. Ooh, there's a fish. Got him. That's another heavy fish right here, folks. Could be another bass. Let me get up here a little higher so I can control this fish the best that I can. Quit. Don't. We've got some more weather coming in tonight. We're going to have some, I believe the low is going to be 20 degrees. And a chance of snow, rain, sleet, the whole thing. And even under those conditions, if you could stand it out here, folks, you could catch fish like this. It's a slow-moving target. They can't stand it. They'll finally bite it if you work it slow enough. So fish can be caught every day. You can catch a few fish every day. This fish is mean. Yeah, it's a smallmouth. No wonder he give me such a fit. What about that? We have caught every species in the river, just about it. Look here. And he's not a bad smallmouth either. I know he's a beautiful fish. Now there, it's just a perfect example of how high percentage fishing to catch fish under bad conditions. Fish can be caught every day. It's all about technique. Totally about technique. Now, on 2-pound test line, folks, and there's a little bit of current right here. I'm actually in a current scene right here. That fish right there gives me a fit. And I almost caught that too. I thought it was a big spotted bass, but he was fighting a little bit more aggressive. And smallmouth went across my mind, but I didn't say it. What a beautiful fish. Bronze back. And a darn good one, folks. Let's let him go. Tiny, tiny baits on bad days. Clarence has got monkey ears. Right on the end of them, he's got black hair. He should shave them for the people. I don't know why he don't care, folks. Old man Ricky Wallace is texting me right now, and I don't really have time, folks. I got a bite, and we need to catch this fish right here. Let's put this on him right here. There he is. See there, y'all hear them texts? That old man is so scared that I'm going to catch a fish, and I've done convinced him that I'm going to catch fish. I'll use unorthodox techniques or whatever it takes to do it. I don't have to have a $7,000 bait or nothing like that, but we got a good fish right here. There's a certain little area out there I've got to put this bait into and be very patient. But there's no doubt that I'm going to hook up. I have that type of confidence. Okay, we got you, boy. That's enough. That's enough. I'm going to let you go. What a pretty fish right there. I'm not kidding. I was saving this spot for last, folks. I wanted to catch shellcracker today, and I did. Now, it's possible right here to catch a walleye, but I'm running out of time. The water's high, and my boat's going to be hard to load, real hard to load. Account of it. I had a hard time getting in this morning, but there's a nice chunky spotted bass. Great little finesse tactic. I'm going to mention that again. The reason is because I want everybody to catch fish, and sometimes if the only chance you have to go is on the weekends, and usually what happens is that's when the bad weather comes in. Try this tactic right here. Let's let him go. Go on back. Hey, man. Whoa! One little area right there, folks. And what it does, there's a bar out here, and then it drops off like that. And I know, I got it focused in my mind exactly where it is. Every once in a while, a fish come through and seek refuge right there. And when he does, well, there's my bait right there, moving in the current. They can't stand it. They can't stand it. That's what I'm trying to talk about. Hey, man. Whoa! Half a night crawler or the whole thing, it really doesn't matter. Very, very effective technique for tough conditions. It's a catch-all technique. I got a fish on here right now. I'm going to make sure that drag's slipping right, folks. All right. There he is. It's another smallmouth. Doggone right. Another smallmouth. Look at there. That's two smallmouth and two spots. 2 or 3 spots. I've lost count. Look at here, what a pretty little fish. Gosh, they're so stubborn. So stubborn. Now, if it was in the summertime, or if the water temperature was around 60, that fish would really be cutting up. But he done a good job right there. Ain't that pretty? No, you need to quit. You need to quit. I'm going to net him. He's awful pretty. I'm going to go ahead and show him to you. He's not that big, but he's got some beautiful colors on him. Beautiful. Small jowl. Come on in here. Look at there. When they hit it, they don't want to move with it. That's not like smallmouth. But that's how cold the water is right now. Quit. Pretty little fish. Ain't nothing wrong with that. A little tough to land them on 2-pound line. I want to admit that. But it's a lot of fun. See that little squirrel tail jig? The night crawler's gone. He knocked it off. But now that's a simple way of fishing. It catches a lot of fish. It's super productive, folks. It's not a fancy way and all that kind of stuff. I know that. But what my deal is I'm wanting to catch fish. And that's a good one right there. That's a pretty fish. Beautiful patterns on that fish. I love this. It's a blessing to be out here, folks. God has blessed me just like he blesses y'all. Every day when you wake up, count your blessings. Oh, pretty fish. That ain't nothing but a picture of health. Well, folks, that right there is how I go about it. I like to froze to death today, but it was a slow day of fishing. It took a while to get those fish to bite, which I knew it would. But you can catch fish on some of the worst weather. There's no doubt about it. It's just depends on which technique you involve into your fishing, knowing where the fish are, and being extremely patient. That's the sport of fishing. I want to say thank y'all for everything y'all do for this channel. God bless each and every one of y'all. Hey, man. Hey. Doggone. Hey. Woo. And remember, go fishing when you can, but all this good free.